Today we're going to be going over the 67 G2 in the LB7 configuration. You know, there's no shortage of single turbo options available for you Duramax guys in the aftermarket. We've tuned them all. You know, S300s, S400s, Garrett stuff. Whatever you want to do horsepower goal-wise, whoever you call, you're going to get a different answer. And having seen this over the past 10 years, I really wanted to fill this void of like amazing drivability in a single turbo that is capable of 800 horsepower. And it just, the void has been there for a long time. There's been a lot of talk about it, but I don't think anyone's filled it effectively until now. I feel like the 67 that we've come up with is a just amazing fit there. And it starts with drivability, and that starts with our compressor design. So if you look at these two assemblies, you have the factory LB7 in my left hand and the 67 in my right hand. That is a lot more compressor there. This is our 7075 billet aluminum, triple compression technology blades. I mean, this is a serious compressor compared to the stock, which is quite a bit smaller. While I have these in my hand, I'll give you a shot of the turbines. 68 on my left for the stock turbine, 77 on my right, and overall just a larger profile. So there's a lot going on there. The trouble has been on small turbochargers that have great drivability, that if you try and run them really hard at high load, low RPM scenarios, you run into surge. And that surge is mitigated by compressor cover design and anti-surge ring design. So my left hand is the stock cover. You can see the anti-surge. That's this ring around the inlet to the wheel. On our cover, it looks nearly identical, so we copied the design as best we could. The trend in the aftermarket has been to eliminate the anti-surge because you run out of meat in the cover to go to that 67 wheel, or if you don't eliminate it, use a design like this. No OEMs use this design. We've tested half a dozen anti-surge designs in this turbocharger. The performance is here or there, not only on the top end, but also the whole width of the map. So the ability of the turbocharger not to go into flutter, not to go into anti-surge, to control itself while towing, you know, while being used in a driver scenario, that's here with this cover. As we move back from the cover, we go into the center section. Cool thing about the LB7 IHI center section, 360-degree thrust, whereas a S300's 270, so you get the 360 thrust control. You also get water cooling. So the factory IHI center section's water cooled, we maintain that, and by maintaining that, we also have the factory oil drain bolts up and the factory oil feed bolts up. So as far as install goes, this thing installs just like a factory turbocharger does. Now let's talk about the turbine side. That's where the big flow is. So you can show the shiny stuff, show the compressor side, talk about that number on the compressor side, but it really doesn't mean anything unless you can control drive pressure. And that's what our turbine stuff is all about. So here's the factory exhaust housing versus our exhaust housing. You can see the lathe work that we do, so that at 10 millimeters extra on the turbine side translates into a big opening in this casting, a lot of lathe work there. We also port match the inlets on the exhaust housing, and because of casting shift on the stock housings, these never line up quite right. So as the up pipe bolts to the exhaust manifold, you always have kind of a lip there in the factory exhaust manifold. And that lip is an interruption to flow. So as we're looking at this turbocharger, we're trying to make this thing perfect. We look at every opportunity, and that means putting in our mill program, a program that goes in and port matches those exhaust inlets. What that means for you, no compromises. Amazing drivability, easy to install, great performance up top. We're talking 750, 800 horsepower up top. I mean, this thing screams, makes some serious boost. Approaching 50 pounds of boost on a stock, totally stock appearing LB7 turbocharger. Who would have thought, right? I mean, you're in twin turbo territory there. This turbocharger has been a year in development. It's got hundreds of dyno passes on the Apache. I mean, it's a runner. Taking all the sales guys for a ride in it. They don't expect it. You just don't expect this kind of performance out of an IHI turbocharger. And I think this is a great representation of how far we've come at Duramax Tuner in the turbo technology. I would encourage you to give us a buzz, chat with one of our guys, see if this is a good fit for you. I'm Nick Pregnitz. Thanks for watching.